All right. So we're live in 5, 4. If the internet permit for me continue console. No.
Oh, waiting for the Facebook. Okay.
Yep, live.
Welcome back to Unbiased Stuff, Game Week 8, Episode 7. I am your host, Bella, and I am joined today by my co-host, Dalan Epic,
Yes.
and Becky. Unfortunately, Matic is not here with us today, and Damien may be joining us later on.
Yes.
How is everybody doing today?
We're doing great.
Well, really,
All right, let's begin, guys. Becky, take us through the Brighton versus Burnley match. A quick takeaway.
Brighton versus Birdie. So sometimes I wish teams could get rewarded to playing really, really good. And that's Brighton right now. They're playing some really good game, but they just can't put the finishing touch, which getting that 3 points. They play really attractive football and all that stuff, but they just can't get over to the finishing line to get that 3 points. Um, for me, this game for Burnley was a must-win game or not to lose this game because Sean Dice, they be talking about Sean Dice losing his job and them getting the points is a plus, but at the end of the day, I think Brighton should have won the game because they dominate the game more. And as I said, they should get rewarded with 3 points. And I'm trying to figure out when they're going to get rewarded with that 3 points. They've been playing good for the last couple of games and they not get rewarded.
Um, I'm sorry, guys. Just a moment. I am only seeing one person at a time on the Facebook Live. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yes.
Is there somewhere where you can change that, Effie? Where it's showing
See.
all three of us?
There. How do we look now?
Um, Becky, can you still only see one person?
Only one person. Yes. Good.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Sorry for the interruption. Back to the game. Uh, Next game was Southampton Newcastle. Dallin, did you watch that game? Did you see that game?
I saw that game luckily. The Southampton Newcastle game. Very interesting because Callum Wilson looked like he was finding a bit of form. However, he was trying and kind of feeding off scraps in that game. Maybe he was carrying a bit of a nickel because I remember him also leaving the field of play before the game had finished. Looked like a bit of a hamstring nickel. However, Southampton, even without their talisman, Danny Ings, looked very good because Che Adams picked up things. Theo Walcott is still playing that new roaming role like a second striker. And he was very, very good with his assist to Che Adams to get the first goal. And I really liked the look of that guy called Armstrong. That also was playing like he was supposed to be on the wing, but most of the times he did his damage from coming inside and he got his reward late in the game when he came inside and shoot with his left foot. So, I mean, Southampton looked very solid. I mean, McCarthy made some saves. I think probably one of them was what I would probably class up there probably as one of the save of the weekends. So Southampton, as I said, looking very solid. The week before that we saw Ward Pro show, and this week was a bit of Che Adams, a lot of respect to Che Adams, Theo Walcott, and Armstrong.
Becky, some inconsistency with Newcastle United.
Yes, for the last couple of games they've been playing really good, but I don't know what happened with in this game. At one point, sometimes I was playing keep ball with them. They couldn't get a hold of the ball at one point, and I was wondering like where is the press? Nobody pressing. Is just like, okay, the ball go that side, I'm gonna go that side, and no pressing. So I don't know what's wrong with Newcastle right now, but I don't know. They should get back though. They should.
They should, right?
They should.
Another low scoring game. West Ham versus Fulham. Fulham has only been able to record one win, I think, this season. They're still sitting at the bottom of the table. This week they went to West Ham at the London Stadium, and West Ham was able to get the win. Becky.
So
So this game was like a game for Fulham to win per se, and West Ham been on this winning streak for a while. They've been playing really good, and the way how they win the game was really kind of unfortunate that Lookman missed the penalty. It's a poor penalty that he took, but you know, as we all say, we learn from our mistakes, and he's young and he's still learning the game. You know, I know you must be feel so bad about that game, but you know, when you've been playing at the highest level and continue win, you know, at the end of the day, West Ham deserve to win that game per se. But you can't take nothing away from Fulham. You know, they scored the goal pretty much to the end of the game. So a draw would have been the better result for both teams. Unfortunately, Fulham just couldn't pull off that draw.
Um, Epic. What does Fulham need for make the season a success for them? What do they need?
well, I mean, to me, I think they look like they couldn't stop leaking goals. I mean, from the first game, they looked defensively at shambles. I've seen Scott Parker take Hector out the team, the defense, and a few others. You know, I won't make Hector just a scapegoat. And they look good against West Ham. They look good defensively. West Ham actually couldn't find any answers, and then, so you know, just a little lapse, and unfortunately they conceded. But they're gonna need leaders as well. You know, Lookman is on loan, Loftus Cheek is on loan, and they get that penalty in the dying minutes, and you're thinking, where is the captain, Tom Kearney? Where is Mitrovic? Where are
Right.
people that have been, fought for Fulham to get to the Premiership? Where are they in those key moments? And I mean, that to me said a lot. You have a player that has just joined the club on loan, and in the crunch time, he's gonna run up and he feels like he can do a dink in the dying seconds. You know, the coach was very upset. He'd be very lucky if he sees another penalty or if he sees much more minutes after that. He's gonna probably have to win back his fellow teammates' trust after that. So they need some leadership, and they're gonna need some goals because it
And
looks like
also,
they
and
started
that
the defense.
and also that show how much confidence you have a striker in the team, how much confidence he have in his own self. Because as a striker, you will go and demand
To
to take
take the
that
penalty.
kick. You know,
Yes.
even as a captain, the captain maybe look to you, be like, "Hey, go take the kick," and then you give it to a kid that don't have no experience. So that showed a lack of confidence in the team per se and everybody else. And
I mean,
you know,
uh,
kudos to Lookman who step up and try to take it. But
A dink.
you know,
I don't remember, know if you guys remember, but Fulham has always had these problems with penalty takers. I remember in a game just before they got relegated, it was Mitrovic and I can't remember the name of this. He's a black player. He was eventually loaned to Turkey after he had a bust up on the field with Mitrovic. He did come back to Fulham.
is it the one that dies here?
No, it's a, it's a, I don't think he was
It's
there.
not Ryan Babel.
No, it's not Bubble. Bubble is
Okay.
at the Ajax now. He was loaned over to Turkish league after he had the bust up with Mitrovic, and then you had another bust up with the security at the training complex. And
Oh,
then
I
he was
think I know who you're talking about. Can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mitrovic did miss his fair share of penalties. Mitrovic had missed because he was on duty before. The last time they were in the Premiership, Mitrovic had penalty duties, but I think those were taken away after those incidents that you mentioned. But to me, might as well put him back on it. Fresh, new season, new start. It's either
Right.
that or the captain steps up.
Right.
All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on to West Brom Spurs. West Brom I think we saw one of their better performances. Um, if, unfortunately, it didn't end in their favor. They played a very energetic match against Spurs, and yeah, I didn't see much of that game. But Becky, I sure you have something to say.
No, I really enjoy. This is one of the games that I wasn't really gonna watch because I was like, okay, West Brom are really doing such a good job, and yes, Spurs gonna walk over there. But when I sit down and watch the game, it was like the opposite. You know, West Brom was a team that taking charge. You know, create chances going forward and putting Spurs under pressure, and it was really a good game. And I wanted West Brom to get something out of the game because of the hard work they put in, and they just didn't get lucky. Just one long ball in the box, header, straight in the goal. Like that's just simple. And it's like even when the goal scored, they still going back at Spurs just to try and see if they could get a chance. And it's so disappointing sometimes when you see a team fought so hard against a team like Spurs or Manchester United or Arsenal or Chelsea, and you lose the game that way. 1-0 is so hard. It's like I'm not even really a fan of West Brom, but I feel like I was a fan that moment. Whereas it's hurt so much that I feel sorry for them in that moment. It was so hard, just the fact that they worked so hard just to even be in this position. Because one of their problem was, giving away goals. And today they defend really good. They were so compact without the ball and with the ball. They press when they don't have the ball. And it's like they win every first, second, third ball. When they have the ball, they attack in units. So you don't see like 1-2 person going, they attack in units. So when they lose the ball, they press in units so they could get it right back. And I love that about them today. That was like, to me, they was like one of the team of the week for me. That's how good they played today. That's how great they played today.
Um, Epic. Spurs team. They seem to be flip flopping a lot. This week they have a spectacular week. Midweek they go away to a Europa side, and then they have a bad week, and then they come back to the Premier League, and they maybe have a good week. What's going? Sum up this game for us.
Well, it's the problem. Most teams have that play on a Thursday. With Spurs, I know Jose is trying to address having 2 players to each position, but then he's got a lot of new signings and he wants to get his image on the team, so he wants to keep them in the team as much as possible. You could see some rotation, but to me, I think this is probably one of Spurs' best lineups that they could put out. Gareth Bale started. They had Son starting, Sissoko, Ndombele, all of those top players supporting Kane and everything. And West Brom were defending, and as Becky saying, covering every blade of grass. They were working. They were working hard in midfield and everything. But I think that you're gonna get that from Spurs. There's gonna be some games that they play good and some. I mean, remember in Europe the other day, Jose literally had to take off. If he could, he would have taken off the whole team, he said, because the performance was that bad when he bring in the French players. So he has that problem that when he tries to rotate, the other players are not really up to speed. So I think this is what Spurs season is going to be like. You're going to have some very, very good performances. Then sometime you're going to get dropping performances in Europe, and it might carry on to the Premier League.
Do you see them as top 4 finishers?
I think a lot will have to do with how things go for them in Europe. If they're fighting on both fronts, I think they will suffer down the line. They'll burn out by February, March.
Okay. Becky, you feel the same?
So for me right now, I think they should try and focus on winning the Europa League. And if they focus on that, then they know they will play in the Champions League next season. If they
exactly
put on there, because then they're gonna be suffering. They're gonna try and fight. Coming this week, the same team that play in Europe gonna play in EPL, and they're gonna be burned out. So.
Yep.
Okay, Crystal Palace versus Leeds. 4-1 at Selhurst Park. Goals from Dan, Eze, Costa, and Hayu. I know we had this discussion last week where we're saying Hayu needs to step up. He did score a goal this week, and kudos to him. Leeds, I think one of their worst performances since they've been promoted. Patrick Bamford, their main goal scorer, I guess, he stepped up again. He had a goal call off. Becky.
So this game I was looking for a more competitive game because as our Leeds play and our Crystal Palace play, and I was shocked to see how Crystal Palace come back in response today from their last game. And I like the fact that other people are stepping up and scoring and contributing in the team, and it's not Sa anymore. Sa named in the call yesterday. It was Eze take up, assist and a goal. And then Ayu finally, get his goal, get a goal. So hopefully they can build on that, and Sa can and breathe a little and not put so much pressure on him and say he have to do everything by himself. Other people have to contribute and make it easier. They win that game because other people stepped up. Other people do everything else other than Sa. We didn't have to depend on him to, create the chances, doing all of this stuff as usual. Other from that, they play good. And as you said, this was Leeds' poor performance of the season. Hopefully they bounce back and Brentford just keep scoring. I think he's scoring every game so far, or from, I think so.
I mean, a couple, not every game. I think he had a few games where
right
he was on the score sheet. But Leeds United, Dallin.
Well, what I would say about, remember, Basler plays this man-marking system, and he likes to study teams, the way they play, and players. Crystal Palace had a few players rejoining their starting 11. Players like Patrick Van Aanholt. So he hasn't seen much of Patrick this season. He probably have seen him last season, but it was normally Mitchell as the left back. Jordan Ayew hasn't been playing a lot recently. It was Michi Batshuayi that had that spot. And when you're playing man marking, it works for players that stick to their positions. But if you check Crystal Palace, when they play Ayew and Wilfried Zaha, they're all over the pitch. Townsend the same, Eze the same. These are players, all four of those players can carry the ball, are ball carriers and dribblers. So man marking, and it showed up against Liverpool in the very first game that Leeds play. Leeds is very good when you're playing and you're sticking to your positions and you're passing and whatever. But as soon as there's a bit of movement or one player beats one of their players, space opens up because then somebody has to leave the person they're marking. And that's the problem I think they run up into with Crystal Palace. Palace has a lot of ball carriers and dribblers, and once the first man was beaten, or once the man who was being marked got beaten, then it was a problem. There was always a free man, and I think they lost a bit of their game plan in that process. And as you mentioned, that ticked off goal for Bamford kind of messed up the whole momentum of any farmer comeback as well.
Hopefully the next match. Hopefully the break that coming up is good for them and they can get back on track, because for me coming into this season I was unsure of Leeds United. I thought they would have been one of the teams in the relegation scrap, but they have proven me wrong. They have a good manager and they have good players, so let's see it goes with them. Next up, Leicester City versus Wolves.
Oh.
One of those games. Penalty, a penalty for a penalty score for Vardy and a penalty miss for them. Wolves have been shaky this season, haven't they, Darren?
Well, Wolves have, they've lost a key player in Jota, and the manager has brought in some new fullbacks. So I mean, they have lost also Matt Doherty, who, he was a key part in how they play with their wing backs. So in replacing them, there was always going to be a bit of issue right there for Wolves. And also they have some senior players that are getting less minutes now, like Moutinho. So they're still doing a bit of transition. But the problem I noticed with Wolves today, they lacked a bit of urgency with how they normally zip the ball and pass the ball and run. They lacked a bit of energy and urgency. And I thought it was a game that Traore would have been brought in or introduced a bit earlier. And to be honest, the only time they looked like they came alive was when he came on the pitch. When he came on the pitch, he started getting past 1-2 players and hitting in some crosses. And it's the only time they kind of look dangerous, to be honest. Otherwise, to me, Leicester looked like they were in control of the game. When Traore came on, as a matter of fact, I think Brendan Rodgers did address that. He took off the struggling fullback. I think it's Luke Thomas, and he put on Albrighton. So he switched Justin over to the other side, and that kind of stemmed all the attacks that were coming down their flank on that side. So to me, Leicester looked in control. Vardy, I mean, even though he missed the penalty, he looked sharp the whole game. He was working the whole game. But Wolves, yeah, you can't afford to start a game in the Premiership like that. If you start a game like that where you're not running, you're not anticipating second balls, you're going to be in trouble. And they found themselves in some trouble today.
Leicester City, Vardy.
Vardy, Vardy, as I said, he scores a penalty. I mean, that one was, to me, the handball. Very, very, I don't even want to talk about the VAR too much, but that handball was very, very controversial to me. Yeah, it's shaky. And then the clear penalty when Wolves' new fullback, the young 19-year-old, gives away a penalty. You know, he misses the whole trajectory of the ball in the air and he gets Justin in the ankle. And Vardy steps up to take this penalty, and I don't know what he does. Normally, when he kicks the ball down the middle, he gives the ball a bit of height, but he went straight down the middle, and the ball didn't get much off the ground. And, you know, Rui Patricio makes a good save, to be honest, with his trailing leg. And I don't know, not even the rebound. The rebound, I don't think Vardy knew much about it either, but it's not usual for Vardy to kick penalties like that, but I guess it happens to everybody. Everybody's missing penalties.
Yeah, I guess today was the day of missed penalties.
Hey, wait, Alisa, wait. You know, before Vardy took the penalty, because he kicked it on the opposite side, and I said, you're going to kick it on that side because he kicked it on the opposite side. And the side that I said you're going to kick it, you kick it exactly on that side. I'm like, I hope the keeper understands, say, may kick it to that side. And it actually happened and saying, I'm like, shit. That was funny. And he was shocked when he missed it.
Yeah, he was shocked. Even the rebound. He expected something to happen with the rebound. And
yeah, it's just was funny. But hey,
I guess the game kind of balances itself out, you know?
Right.
Like the game balances itself out. And I think that the first one wasn't a penalty. So
right, because in my head, I'm like, what the guy supposed to do? The ball is right there. And by the time the guy blinked, the ball is on the person. So what he's supposed to do? It's so every week we come and talk about VAR, but as I said, VAR is the person who making the decision. It's not the technology, it's the person.
And so to be honest, the referee went over. The referee went over and looked at the screen.
And I'm like, did he see him? And the fact that they do it in slow motion make it even worse. You got to see at full pace the way all you see it in the first place. You know, the way all you see it. And you only can determine something at full speed. And then when they slow it down, everything just, okay, it look worse than it actually is.
Yep.
But,
I'm sorry, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties here. I thank you guys for that. Let's move on to Everton versus Manchester United. I think that's obvious, right, of where we should go next.
okay.
Manchester United, after a series of bad performances, back-to-back loss at home and away, right? They played away
in Turkey.
In Turkey, and they lost. rumors were swirling that the manager's job was on the line. And if it's one thing Ole is gonna do, that is save his job. One thing Ole gonna do is save his job. The team came out and after the first goal for Everton, I was like, yes, here we go again. But they came back, came into the game, and they had a good performance. I think for me, like the thing that I was most upset with the game was the way Everton players were playing. Uh, I guess what you have to expect is football. They played Bruno.
Bruno
Wait,
versus Everton.
it was Bruno versus Everton. They played Bruno in a way that it was either he was gonna get injured or he was gonna get sent off. Uh, Becky, I don't know what to say about. I don't know what to say much to say about this game.
So my thing about this game was it was Bruno playing against Everton, like literally. But I want to touch on Everton. It was surprising. Like Everton, we talked about Everton last week about missing key players and stuff, and I was happy to see James come back. But in the game, it was non-existent. The game I've won in the midfield. Manchester United have won the game in the midfield. They pretty much Scotty and Fred and Bruno did such a wonderful job in the midfield of, not allowing Rodriguez to be on the ball. I didn't know how much time he touched the ball. He was really quiet both half. Not once, two. I don't even know how much time the
Who was
commentator called.
there in this game, Becky?
Um,
It was Manchester
Yeah,
United.
everybody would say Bruno, but Scott did a really good job and Fred did a really good job of how they under the midfield. They cover a lot of ground, and I gotta give kudos to them. And the way how Manchester United start, it's the fastest I see Martial run. The moment the ball kicked off, I saw Martial run to the other end like they were ready. And the way how yes, we went down a goal down, but the way how we bounced back from that, we answered 2 goals really fast, and we mean business. After that, you start seeing a more aggressive football, which I enjoy because the ref actually allowed the game to be played. He didn't let it get away, but he let it play, and I actually like that type of game. I like those type of aggressiveness. Everybody don't get called or get red card. I thought there would be a red card in the game at one point, but it was a good game. And also, what I thought the coach would have done, Ole would have done is take off Bruno, because I was so scared that he would got hurt or get a red card yesterday. Depends on all the game, because they literally were setting it up. Like literally, they were setting it up. I want him to be off the field so bad. I never want him to be off the field so bad yet.
I think I know you're always saying that Van der Beek is panic buy. Was there a moment in the game yesterday where you saw where you could have been introduced to that game?
Um, to me, I still think I think eventually a decision will have to be made for Pogba to go through the door, and I think eventually the type of football intellect that Van der Beek has, and this is from obviously my team played against him in the Champions League twice. I think he has a very good football IQ. And when I talk about football IQ, you talk about the players that know to find space on the pitch. So therefore, I think he's somebody that complements Bruno much better than say a Pogba. Bruno spends a lot of time on the ball, because he's the one that making most of the creative plays for Manchester United. And Van der Beek is somebody that is very good at getting on the end of such plays and finishing. So Pogba is a man that wants to be on the ball a lot as well. So I just don't see how him and him and Bruno will work. So Van der Beek, I think, should be a part of that Man United midfield three. So I think Ole, I don't know. I think Ole's got 2 weeks now to actually think. There's some players that might not get called up for their teams. Some players that will get called up and such. So for those that remain at the training ground, there's some things that Ale, I think, needs to review and everything. And one of them has to be sorting out that midfield. He needs to have a solid engine room. You know, that's the engine room of where most of the footballer get played in a midfield.
Right.
So he needs to sort that out.
And I think he changed the midfield too much, and that's why we're not being so consistent. Because 1 minute, Matic in there, and the next minute is just this Fred and Scotty or Fred and Matic and all that stuff. And is it because of the games or something? But sometimes you just need that stability in there to build on to going forward. And if you have that stability in the midfield, then you will get a better outcome in the game.
Yep.
Or is it that he's still trying to find that perfect combination in the midfield? Because he's switching out players and he's bringing in. I mean, we saw Van der Beek play this week. He got his start in the Champions League, right?
Yes.
And Anderson got his first big start for me, and things didn't work out well. However, we cannot blame
Nope.
nor can we blame Anderson because the errors in that game was based on the defenders lining up at the side. I don't know what they were doing, lining up at the side and leaving your keeper wide open. So we can't too much blame them, but I think maybe Ole is still trying to figure something out. I don't know what he's trying to figure out, but he's still trying to figure something out. Let's go to Everton. Everton back-to-back losses. They're still without Richarlison. I see Alex in the comment telling us that if Richarlison was there, Manchester United wouldn't have got the win.
We would have seen a different game, but I wouldn't say they would have got the win, but I would say they would have seen a different game.
Epi?
To me, I think a lot of the dynamics have changed since the first set of games that we saw. So they had a couple games without the left back. He comes back, Lucas Digne. But if you notice, Yeremina had a very poor game prior to this one, and he got changed out for Mason Holgate. So they changed the centre back pairing. That's one thing right there already, and you can see they concede 3. But then Richarlison is a big miss to me as well, because Bernard doesn't offer the same. Bernard is not going to run behind like Richarlison. He's not a finisher like Richarlison. He is more a ball carrier and somebody that tried to play in between the lines. He's more like a number 10. And that is the problem, because James Rodriguez is more like a number 10 than a winger as well. So you're playing literally with 2 number 10s. You got no width as well. And because of how Man United was playing, Man United's fullbacks pinned Everton's fullbacks. So most of the time, it was Man United fullbacks literally dictating where Everton fullbacks were during that game. So they didn't get a lot of time to express themselves. And even the midfield 3, people were talking about Alan, Doucouré, and they were also talking about the work rate that was in that midfield. And, no disrespect to Jiffy Sigurdsson. He's been at Everton for a while, and most clubs he's been very good. But a part of a midfield 3, I just don't think he has the workman like and the industry like. He's always been seen as like a flair player higher up the pitch, and that never worked out for them. They lost the midfield battle, and they just weren't sharp enough up front. As you said, Bella, it didn't look like the Everton team you've been seeing.
Right.
It's a misfortune for Everton, seeing that they started out so strong, back-to-back losses, and I don't know. There was. I think it's maybe because they're missing Richarlison, but there's something that wasn't there, and I didn't think Rodriguez had such a good game yesterday. I don't think he had.
He didn't.
He didn't have a good game yesterday. But they have a good manager and they can come back. We all know what Ancelotti can do. And, last week he switched out Pickford and this week he brought him back.
And he could have got a red card again.
Yes.
Got a red card again with that play on Maguire. But also we have to point out that Maguire could have gotten in my opinion, he should have gotten a red card. I guess with the rules that saying that if he's offside, then he can't get the red. But I don't think that's a sensible rule to me, because what he did yesterday was reckless. What he did, the play that
If
he
it's
did
violent play and you're outside, then yes. Yes.
it was violent play to me. Like what
To,
he did was very reckless.
to
It was
me, to me, that's how you defend your top player on the field when you kicking down my player every single chance you
okay.
get.
Okay,
And
let me
that's
just
how
say
you
this.
play. And
Let me just
that's
say
how a
this.
game's supposed to play.
Okay,
Because
let me
you
just
know
say
in
this.
your right mind that you're not gonna get a card. You
Let me
know
say
that's how you
this.
defend your player on the field. And that's what you let defenders to do.
Let me just say this. As a Manchester United fan, what I saw from Maguire yesterday is very captain-like. Because because Bernard was the person that scored the goal for Everton, right?
Yes.
What?
Yes, yes.
Yes, he was played Bruno so harsh that for me Bruno was so close to getting injured or getting a red card. And for me, Maguire going out there and roughing him up, that's something that I like to see from my captain. So he did what he was supposed to do as a captain, but as a fan of just the game, it was reckless.
As a fan of the game, that was awesome.
That was reckless. You
That's all you. That's all. Sometimes, as a defender, you need to rough up the other players, man. Sometimes you need to show them who boss, show them, make them scared to come there. Because once you do that, you give them a little fear to come near you. Literally, I've give them fear. And as a defender, as a center back, that's all you're supposed to play. But you have to do it smart though.
Yeah.
Smart with it. So you're supposed to.
He was a high quality fridge yesterday. Let's move on
And
to
Luke Shaw was great also. Luke Shaw
yes,
did pretty
good
good.
kudos to Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Chelsea Sheffield, a match that I predicted would end 4-1 that actually ended 4-1. That's
Boy, so
definitely
fight.
I put a little faith in Chelsea team that they would give Sheffield United their first win, and they indeed did not. This Chelsea team, Effie, what you're seeing from, are you comfortable with what you're seeing from them? Do you have confidence in the way that they're playing that this Chelsea team could finish in not only in the top three but be challenging for Liverpool or one of them for the title coming the end of the season?
Um, yes, I like the term challenging. This Chelsea team um is showing all the signs now that Lampard actually called this performance the best performance of the season. And I think a big part of this, I said it to a lot of Chelsea fans, that attacking wise, when people were saying, we look good some parts and then other parts of the game gone. And I said, there's one missing part of the puzzle. And he was injured for so long. I said, Hakim Ziyech. As soon as he is in, you'll see, because he is that type of player that can unlock a defense with one pass, just one pass. And he showed a full array of those skills against Sheffield United on Saturday. I mean, his pass to Kovacic for the first goal that Kovacic then left for Abraham showed that he played there was a short corner played in which he crossed the ball to Chilwell. You understand? Chilwell didn't know much about it. And then there was a free kick, which was basically the exact same place he scored on Kepa when he played for Ajax in the Champions League, where everybody, and he kicked that ball and Silva just goes whoop by the near post and scores. So, I mean, he has a wonder of a left foot. Everybody that did coverage of Chelsea's game in terms of highlights or such spoke about Ziyech. I mean, Ziyech has created a record in the Premiership this season to create 6 key passes in one game. He's the first player to do that this season, create that much chances. So, I mean, we're talking about somebody that I think is going to run Kevin De Bruyne very close on assists this season. So that's what I think Chelsea has got. And Lampard has 2 good fullbacks now. Chilwell down the left, scoring goals, and Reece James creating and crossing. Both are defending well. The defense looks quite solid, even though they eventually conceded today against Saturday against Sheffield. And the midfield, I mean, it looks like even if we change one player, because Havertz was out, he's out with COVID, Kovacic came in, and it didn't look like it changed much for Chelsea.
Talking about Kovacic, I was having a late conversation last night with Damien, and he was saying that Kovacic was the man of the match for him yesterday, and I was telling him he hadn't watched the match yet, and I was telling him, you should watch the match because those passes
Ziyech.
Yeah.
those passes. I sat there late last night and I was watching the match and I was like those passes that even me as a Manchester United fan, just looking at the way that he's passing, and I'm like, yeah, that boy is gonna be a problem this season. The passes were
I mean,
incredible.
yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
in ah.
just before that, a very quick point. Lampard invited Rio Ferdinand to training. This is during the lockdown in last seasons, because Ziyech and Werner moved to UK while the season was still not finished last season. And he asked him to come watch him in training because he said, listen, this guy's passing is like Paul Scholes combined with Beckham and a bit of Fabregas. So Rio Ferdinand was like, no way. And he went to training. He spoke about it the first time Chelsea played, and it was on BT Sports. And Rio Ferdinand said, listen, this guy, one of the best passes I've seen. And they interviewed Jake after the game, and he said it. They asked him, oh, do you try to hit the ball in some space? And he went, no. I make eye contact, and from I see the player, I pass the ball exactly where I want to pass it. Now, that tell you that this player is class. He's not looking to hit the ball in a dangerous area. He's looking to find the player.
Right.
And before we move on, Becky, Peter Cech said when he got the job at Chelsea, he it was like such a huge amount of keepers that he had that he was looking through to find the perfect one for Chelsea, and he found that in Mendy. What are your thoughts on that? That he had to. What are your thoughts? He had to work so hard. Our interviewer looked through so many candidates to find someone. What is he saying about Kepa? What does that say about Kepa?
If I was Kepper and I ever heard that in an interview, I ought to be like, Coach, can you put me somewhere else because I can't compete with, like, literally, because that's saying to me that I'm not good enough to be here. I'm not good enough to be number one. I'm not good enough. Let me go. Let me go and build and come back, because sometimes you need to go from this environment and leave. You need, and that's not a good look, because first you were the keeper, you were the guy, you were that person, you were the number one, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm the one that everybody complaining about. I can't do this and can't do that. Let me go out, put me alone, let me be this, and then I'll come back. I'll prove to you that I'm good enough. Let me go, because him being on the bench not helping nothing.
Epic on what Becky said. A keeper with the price tag that he came in at Chelsea, would it make sense for him to go out on loan and come back, or should he just go and find a new team?
Well, this is the thing. Kepa has a lot of years left on his contract, so it's for the money that Chelsea probably will be looking for to get him off the books completely. And then you have to remember he's on very high wages as well. So it's gonna be very hard to offload him without some good performances. He'll have to get some good performances to convince a team to depart with that type of money that Chelsea would be looking for. But even if Chelsea drop the price, then his wages might be a problem for our next team. So a loan, maybe a year or 2 year loan. You remember what Chelsea did with Courtois when they bought him? They had him at Atletico Madrid for 2 years before they brought him back. Maybe he needs to go to some mid-table team in Spain for 2 years, and either his value will go up and Chelsea can then make a permanent sale, or you never know. You don't know. Mendy might be looking very, very, very good now. Things happen. You understand? Anything can happen, God forbid, but maybe he comes back to the club a better player. But I mean, he needs to resolve his situation.
Isn't Juventus looking for a keeper?
A backup keeper for Chesney. Must be a backup keeper for Chesney. I'm very sure because they got Chesney and Buffon in it, but Buffon is
Yeah, it's time for Buffon. I mean, the man shows no sign of retiring, but
Hey,
he can try.
Buffon is way better than keeper right now. And
Yep.
him sitting on the bench, he's not even plays in league games or anything. Him sitting on the bench, he can't prove himself nowhere. He can't redeem himself in no form or shape.
I think wasn't he out to that
he's
shoulder?
injured. Yeah, he's got a shoulder injury at the
Right.
moment. So
So yeah.
yeah, make of it as you will.
Somebody in the comment is saying Courtois was not good. I agree with you 100%. I mean, Kepa can go back to Real Madrid. Let's see. Maybe Real Madrid will take him back. Sheffield United still not able to find that win. Still struggling. Ramsdale.
Remember the last time I was a guest, I mentioned that that's where their problem, the difference between Sheffield last season and this season. Ramsdale is the goalkeeper. Dean Henderson in that goal, and Sheffield would have more points by now.
Because in the first interview I said it's they don't have that confidence that they have back there where if something happened, if they lose the ball or something, that the keeper gonna back. I see a lot of times when he did careless stuff, he run out when you got all this time. The defender is right there. Why the hell you coming out? For what?
In his 6-yard box, he can't even collect a cross.
Right.
You know, Chilwell scored the ball literally from 2 yards out.
Right. And if you come in, you're coming. And if you're not coming, just stay right there. And I'm like, is he trying to measure up or something, or doing too much? Like, come on. Like, these are basic stuff. Yes, he makes some good saves, yes, but still that don't make up for the goal that go in.
I think he's a big part of the reason why Bournemouth ended up in the championship. And if Wilder is not smart, and he's gonna have to be a bit more, a bit more harsh, and maybe show him that if you continue with these performances, he will get dropped. So he needs to probably after the break give him a little breather, out of the team, and then see how he reacts. Because to be honest, if he continue like this, then they're gonna have a relegation scrap.
Yeah, and then it's like they're not. It's like, you depend on them every week to know, like, okay, they score, all right, they score first, right? You expect, okay, you as a keeper, okay, my job is to not let that ball go in. My job is to do every single thing in my power to not let that goal score. And what happened? 4 score.
4. I think last season, Sheffield ended the season with scoring 39 goals and conceding 39. We are 7 games into the season and they have already conceded 14 goals and they have only scored 4. So is it that their problem is only at the back, or they don't have an active goal scorer right now?
And
never.
So
yeah. And they went and they spent and they brought in that the young man Ryan Brewster. I have always thought that Ryan Brewster was a very overrated young man. I said it on other platforms that I don't care what Klopp says. Klopp is the type of manager that's not going to talk bad about any player. So I don't care what praises that he gives. Klopp knew in his heart that Ryan Brewster was not good enough. He wasn't good enough to be at. He wasn't even good enough in the championship, because I watched him play in the championship, and I don't understand why Sheffield went and spent all that money to get him. They needed a better person up there to score goals, because they're not scoring goals. They're conceding and they're not scoring anything. Right now they're on a -10 goal difference. Like you said, they're going to end up in a relegation trap. I don't see a way out for them. What's the way out?
You know the funny thing about Brewster, yesterday I saw him had the ball and he's just, I don't know which forward in this modern day football is slow. He is slow as hell. Like there's, I don't know. He didn't even give himself a chance to like say go against the defender. It's like, come on, sprint. It's
I
like
know which ball you were talking about.
catch that ball. Then I could have catch that ball. I'll make a better effort.
Yeah, there
fight
was.
for that ball.
He went into a foot race with the old man Thiago Silva, and Silva
Right.
beat him.
Yeah. Easily. And I'm like, no, you're a young 20-year-old, barely. I could.
You know, Manchester United can consider sending James to because Sheffield
Yes. James would have catch that ball and fly goal. I may end up scoring too.
They can send James down to Sheffield and alone because Manchester United is something with him. So that's an opportunity for James. Ole, if you're listening, you can send James to Sheffield.
And then Bruce still, he's not aggressive enough. He's just this soft little kid. Like, come on, man, put some body in something. No, all of the like, he's not offering anything.
Wow.
Like literally, he's not offering like.
Yeah, harsh. Give it.
No, it's just be honest. Like you got young striker out there that would do something, that will fight. But he's not doing it. He's just running around like, yeah, whatever. And it's just lackadaisical. He's just not fighting. It not creating his own chances. Like you gotta go into spaces to get the ball. And it was him just there. Just there. I see ball going in the box and he's not there. Like, where are you to win those headers? Where are you? You gotta put something out there. You cost me so much money. You need to fight. And then he gets subbed off the field and he get mad. You're not doing nothing on the field. Don't get mad because you're not.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. They're not scoring goals. Last season when they came up from the championship, they bought the Swansea's. I think he's a striker, Ollie McBurney. Wouldn't it make more sense if Chris Wilder start him?
I think
well, I mean, he's got Muset that's coming back from injury. Mm-hmm. He's got Ali McBurney, as you mentioned. He's got McGoldrick and Ryan Brewster, but you know, he's just brought Brewster in. He's stated that he needs to bed him in the team. But to be honest, against Chelsea, he was always gonna see very little of the ball. And Sheffield is a team that last season was all about crossing, getting the ball in the box so many times. And to be honest, Chelsea didn't allow them to get a lot of balls in the box. And I don't think Ryan Brewster is going to be somebody that's feeding off headers. He's not the tallest. He's physically not strong. He needs somebody that's going to get on the ball. And I stated this the last time I was a guest. Sheffield needs somebody that can play true passes and play some football in the midfield. You can't just play the crosses like you've been figured out now. So you need to mix it up a bit. So they need a creative player in the middle. And last season, McGoldrick was the leading goal scorer with 6. They need somebody that gets double figures to stay up. They need somebody that can score 10 goals, definitely. So
they need a Jamaican in the kitchen to make some porridge.
Some porridge.
something to build him to build him up.
He need to be a more aggressive man because you go to a team, you know what the team is about. It's not in the box. You know, even when the little chances you get to be in the box, you're not in the box for those crosses. You're not putting your body on the line for when the crosses come in and all that stuff. You got to. You know, your team not doing so well. That should, you know, drive you to do something. The ball not gonna come. A true pass not gonna come all the time. Ball not gonna always come on your feet. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, dig in and be dirty. Sometimes.
Okay. Let's go to a very fun game. Arsenal.
No, Liverpool game. City Liverpool.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Arsenal game is the last game.
Okay. We had Liverpool and the Man City game for last, but we can do the other one too. Liverpool, Manchester City. 2 penalties, a penalty miss. You see, she's telling me to do that game, and she's telling me go to somebody else.
but Arsenal game was way more fun.
All right, so Liverpool versus Manchester City. A clash of titans wasn't That was a description that was given to us for this game. It wasn't so much a clash of anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
I mean,
Effie.
I think it was a game where in the first half, I think both teams are going at each other, and Walker, who has been getting a lot of praise, had another moment. Every time when I hear people praise Walker, he has a moment of madness. And that was a very reckless challenge for an experienced player in the box, especially against Liverpool, where, the players go down, once they get contacted. Yeah. Once they get contacted, which, Walker left no choice to the referee but to give that penalty and put his team under some pressure. And Salah made no mistake with that. Otherwise, from that, with Liverpool, to be honest, though, they look very good in midfield and everything, but a lot seem to be breaking down when it reached into the final third. So they lacked a bit of sharpness and cohesiveness right there. But defensively, they were answering most questions. I don't think Man City was asking a lot of questions. I think that new signing, Ferran Torres, still gonna take a bit of time for people to see the best of him. But at the back, Man City with Laporte and Ruben Dias, that's the first I've got to see both of them against top opposition. They look good, apart from the penalty that was conceded. The great thing though was De Bruyne was kind of playing in a number 10 position, and when De Bruyne was able to find some space, Man City looked like they were gonna cause trouble, and that's how I think they got their goal. There was a couple signs before with De Bruyne firing a few shots, and then De Bruyne found that pass into Gabriel Jesus, and that was a wonderful turn and goal. But then in the second half, to me, both teams kind of showed a bit too much respect, as if nobody wanted to give away the game or lose the game. And to me, the second half kind of was like a dull rubber to me. That summed up the game to me. The second half, it just looked like both managers didn't want to lose the game, and the players on the pitch did not want to make any mistakes that would cost the game.
Yeah, that game reminded me of Manchester United versus Chelsea. It's like, okay, we all get that goal, and the thing, this wasn't gonna be like one of those games that you will find a lot of goals. It's like if somebody should win this game, they would have win by one. Mm-hmm. It's like gonna be a 1-0 win, a 1-0 game, and the fact that this game was so hyped up, which I was hyped about the game because I expect what's going to happen. One, both teams having problems, right? In injury problems, and one Liverpool, their main defender out, and then Roberts Arnold got injured in the game. He got sub off, and City have striker problem and people coming back from injury and all that stuff. So both teams have their problem, and there's like, okay, we just see this game through and don't lose. And
I'm sorry, guys.
that penalty actually just give them assurance, say, okay, we're gonna try everything in our power to not let City score, because if Roberto scored that penalty, then
oh god, that was an awful miss.
Not something we see often from Kevin De Bruyne.
But Man City's been having penalty problems from last season, Just try to remember. Sterling was missing, De Bruyne was missing, Gabriel Jesus was missing, Aguero was missing,
That's true, because I remember at one point Pep saying the best penalty taker I have maybe
Henderson. The goalkeeper. Yeah.
So, I think that's funny. One thing I want to read about, my audio chipped out right when we're talking about Carl Walker. Roy Keane, a very harsh critic. Everyone, he said, how did Mane get this penalty because he's up against an idiot? He was referring to Kyle Walker. Things like this get into players' head. As we were talking earlier on, Becky, about critics getting into the player's head.
Yes.
Right? He's one of those critics, a harsh critic.
Yes.
Okay, where were we? Because my audio chipped over. You guys were talking.
But
And my video.
yeah,
Um,
back to City, and it kind of sad. Whereas when we see two teams, big team going up against each other, and we gotta sit and watch a flat game the entire part. It's not the fact that we don't. It's not about the goals, but it's the intensity of the game. It was like literally you could fall asleep into this in that game, and it's so sad that we've been getting this a lot. It's not like this is the first game. It's the first time we've been getting this a lot. And the games you can watch like a West Ham and a Fulham game is more excited than this game.
was it
Like literally.
the penalty that was given against Joe Gomez? Was it a harsh penalty? Was
I
that
think I
because
think
he did try to get his arm out of the way,
I
but
think I think the reason why they give that penalty is the distance from where he's from the ball. I think that's the reason why. If he was closer, then it would have. But I think it's the distance because then if we go back to Leicester game, the guy was really close. He was like 2 yards or two something from the guy, and he don't have no choice but to let the ball hit in the hand. But for Gomez, it's more of a penalty for Gomez because the ball is coming from a distance. So I can't complain that penalty. He coming from a distance.
That was more a penalty than the one in the Leicester game.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't think none of them should have been penalties.
Right.
But with the rules as they are and the type of penalties that have been given so far, Gomez could make very little complaint if he was looking at the penalties that have been given in the league so far. And that cross was coming from quite a distance from, that he handled. Not much I think he could have done, but yeah.
With the way these two top teams are finishing and with the way the league keeps changing, we have seen Southampton at the top, some shocking teams at
For
the
like
top.
100 years.
Yes, the way the league is going, who do you see finishing better this season, Liverpool or Manchester City?
I honestly I don't know. Like we gotta wait and see until like the December, when the end of December into the second half of the season, because at this rate anybody can be up there. Anybody can win up there. Anybody.
Okay. An epic Jota in this Liverpool team. Like we saw him start today, but how long is it before we think that he can take somebody else, like one of the main people that Klopp has their spot? Because he seems to be he has adapted to the Liverpool team very well.
I think that they're gonna probably continue to play the way they're playing. So normally they play with their midfield three. And what Klopp has done is now play with a pivot with two midfielders. So he used Henderson today, and he had a double pivot with Wijnaldum. So he had a double pivot, and he had Salah kind of playing off Firmino, and he had Mane on the left and Jota on the right. I see Jota. I don't see Jota probably taking a Firmino spot, because the thing is, the job that I know a lot of people say Firmino's overrated and such, but the job that Firmino does, the job that Firmino does though, I don't think Salah or Mane are willing to do that, because what he does is obviously he comes to the ball short and he tries to make some little intricate passing from deep, and he makes space for Salah and Mane to make moves from the wing inwards and get into the box and score goals. So he does a lot of the hard work that they're not willing to do, because Mane and Salah do not want to play with their back to goal. Jota is not that type of player either. He's more a player that's going to come off the right or come off the left, and he used both feet well. But Jota, I think they're going to continue to do this, because remember, there was one point in Liverpool season where they was using Shaqiri a bit like how they're using Jota. So Shaqiri, Salah, and Mane and Firmino used to all be on the pitch together. And if you notice now, he's also bringing back Shaqiri back into the team because he's playing with the front four.
And that's something that I really much like to see, because over here, me, Becky, Damien, we are big Shaqiri fans. big Shakir fan. I like him, and he deserves to be getting played. He deserves to be
Yeah,
getting
man. With
played.
this new way Klopp playing, Shaqiri will get more minutes because he's playing with a front four. So with that little floating number 10, like that Salah sometime playing now, and the fact, you can take off Firmino if it's not going right, or if one of that Jata, Salah, Mane not having a good game, Shaqiri can come in. You understand? And he's a man that's gonna shoot or try something from distance or try to unlock a defense with a pass. And if there's a free kick to his a possibility, he might hit it in the top corner. He's one of them X factor players, and he's a good option. So don't worry about Jata though. I think they found a very good player, and he's got youth. One of the good things with Jata is that he's playing in a team that's playing good, and it's easier to integrate in a team when the team is winning games and there's no pressure on you to produce magic.
Perform.
Yeah.
You're not that new guy that you pay a whole bunch of money for, and you gotta prove yourself. What I learned, what I see is like when he was at Wolves played that fast game, which they didn't play that game today, but they played that fast game, and so is Liverpool. So it was easier for him to adapt to that pace of the game. It's not like a City game where they slow it down and pass the ball around and nitpick and thing, and then make that final pass. It was like direct, go and get it, and that's how he play, and that's how they play at Wolves. And he come in here and just I fit in right where it just fit into that puzzle.
Okay,
Yes.
let me just take a comment real quick. Kerry saying Klopp is still searching. Jota is not a ball handler like Firmino. Jota and Salah plays almost the same way. He is using the attacking mode and it's working.
Yes.
Agreed? Okay. All right, now Becky, are you comfortable with us moving on
Hey,
to Arsenal receiving a proper whooping from Aston Villa? Becky, I know you're eager to get to this game, so
it's not
let's get into it.
it's not about eager, but if you look at the games too of the weekend, this is one of those games where I was excited to watch. From the whistle blow, Aston Villa scored, but unfortunately Barkley with him hot head started at the keeper. But it was a really good game to watch, and we are going to come back to the fact that Ozil's not playing. Ozil is a really attractive player. I enjoy watching him when he actually plays. I like see Ozil play, and Arsenal is missing that creativity in the midfield. There's nobody in there that say, okay, I'm gonna find a Bobby and I'm gonna find Lacazette, or somebody to give that deadly pass or that through pass. That's not. That's
Alex.
Arsenal. It's like, okay, they're gonna take the ball from the defense, put it back, and hit it on the wing. Saka gonna come up, Bellerin gonna come up, and hopefully they're hitting a pass in the box, and Lacazette or Bobby and in there and get the ball. And that's pretty much what Arsenal are doing. There's no creative in the midfield. And if you look, the goals they score, they always come from the wing. They never come from the middle. Always from the side. Like most of their goals they score is always from Saka crossing or from Bellerin side or Aubameyang putting one or somebody or William putting one or Pep. There's nothing in the midfield. And all you see is the midfield. I think the midfield that Arsenal have is a defensive midfield when somebody attacking, not when they're going forward. It's like I'm sitting back and I'm going to all up play and say, okay, there's nothing to facilitate the ball to the next person in front of me. There's nothing there. And that's why Lacazette looked like he's not doing anything in the game. He's not getting anything to feed off of. There's nothing towards him. Then you're not going to get a goal from him. You're not going to get nothing from Aubameyang because nobody provides. He turned to provide it. And if he's not getting to provide to the next person, then there's not going to be anything. And then Lanky, man, I take Lanky side. Lanky was like, I'm not playing. When Pep come out, even though I'm not
Pepe.
When Pep come on the field, you see some kind of creativity. You have his moments in the game when you see, okay, they may score, or
he had a brilliant cross today where when I saw it, I was like, just imagine if he had been introduced to the game from earlier.
Right.
I think Arteta keeps shuffling around with trying. I think like what most of the managers now are trying to find what their best starting is. That's the only
Right.
thing that I can say because like Matic is not here today to discuss his team. He bowed out because obviously not because he said not because of
Right.
the woman, but we can debate that.
The walk-in.
What but for me, what was I saying again? Eleni and playing party with
Yeah, Emily,
Eleni. I call it eeny, meeny, miny, mo because I don't. For
Emily,
me, it's
El
Eleni.
Nene.
Eleni
you get that name
is
right?
not. He's not. I don't understand his role in
Right.
Arsenal. In this starting 11. I don't understand his role. You have party there. So I don't understand what his role is. I would have preferred to see a Pepe in the squad because you don't have a Ozil that is a creative player. You don't have anybody to pass the ball to Aubameyang. Now we're looking at Aubameyang like he's an average player. And Aubameyang for me he is Arsenal's top player, but we are not
Right.
getting more for him. You just gave him a big contract where
Too fat.
you basically have to fire off of the workers at the club to be able to facilitate his contract plus the
Right.
hiring, getting Willian and everybody. And he's not giving you goals, but it's not his fault. It's because there's no creative player there to create the goal scoring opportunities for Aubameyang.
Why not put William in a number 10 role and put Pep on the wing? You have two people just interchange right there. William can play that role. William can play a free flowing role. Why not?
Epic, epic.
I actually thought, I'm gonna be honest, I thought when Arteta bought Willian and said he's missing piece to his puzzle and he has some ideas of what he wants to do with Willian. I thought Willian was gonna play that number 10 role. Because if Willian had played that number 10 role,
Right.
and you're gonna freeze out Ozil. William can. That's where he always has wanted to play. He wanted to play there for Chelsea, but I think he probably got a handful of games there, and most of them he did play well there. But there was always some other player that was preferred in the number 10 role to him because of
Right.
his work rate. So I thought I still think that would be best because how Arteta wants his wingers to play, he wants William to stay wide right. William is not a natural winger. You
Right.
understand? You might as well play Pepe. If you want somebody to stay wide or whatever, that's going to give you width. You might as well play Pepe there. He can come in on his left foot and whatever. And if you're going to have William playing behind the striker, William to me can be a ball carrier and also somebody that can probably make some space for Lacazette or Aubameyang.
Right.
You understand? Carrying the ball. Because he's a good ball carrier. I give him that. But I don't know. Arsenal, to me, if you're going to play party too, I actually think that Danny Ceballos, who is a better passer of the ball than El Neni, should be starting. You might call Thomas Partey can do all the dirty work of cleaning up and all of that. And he can actually carry the ball and pass it as well. He does a bit of everything, but he's a midfield destroyer. Then play a Ceballos in the midfield that can do a bit of the passing and creative. You know?
It's like playing two-person, one spot, two people.
Two midfield destroyers. I don't get that. El Nene is not a good pairing with Thomas Partey.
Like I said, I don't understand his role in the starting 11. I really don't. He's like you. Every time I see him on the team sheet, I'm like, why? Why is he there? And I know Matic is not here, but he had a problem with also the substitution with bringing on Nketiah. He's not a fan of Nketiah. Like Arteta has good players, and for me, Arsenal has been struggling for a long time. And I thought this season with them getting Party, with them having Willian, they have Pepe, they went and they got a defender. I thought this would have been the season where Arsenal would finally get it together, finally get it right. I mean,
they need a they need a better striker, better option. You can't have Nketiah fighting for minutes with Lacazette. I know obviously Aubameyang can play through the middle sometimes, But then that means you need an extra player somewhere. You either need an extra, because if you're gonna rotate Aubameyang and Lacazette in the central role sometime, then you need an extra left winger, like a natural left winger then.
Right.
Or you need to get an next striker, because Nketiah coming on most of the times looking to change a game. Nothing wrong with putting your trust in youth. I just think they probably need a more experienced, somebody that can probably give them 10 to 15 goals.
And I think that's what Arteta's problem is, because that's why Aubameyang keeps staying out there, because he don't have a backup for that. You don't have, normally you would have put, all right, you take Lacazette in there, put Aubameyang in the middle and put the other guy out there, maybe you get something, but then you're going to bring on somebody who still not going to get the service, you're going to bring on somebody who's still going to suffer. You're not making no change. So what's so different between Lacazette getting a goal and he getting a goal? Same thing. You got to bring out somebody who can change. You got to bring out somebody who can provide, that pass. And, Arsenal will build up all the play, go all the way up. When they reach the final third, there's no end result. Don't take anything away from Aston Villa. They really play good today.
Arsenal are not finishers. They're not finishers. There was another point that Charismatic made, that with Arteta sending Torreira and Guendouzi out on loan, and I tried to tell him, like, Torreira, he never really breaks into this Arsenal squad. He has been there for like 2 seasons, right? And he hasn't really broken into this Arsenal squad. So I think the loan is good for him. I wish they had included buying option in there for Atletico. He's at Atletico, right?
Yeah.
Because he needs to stay where he is, because this Arsenal team really wasn't working for him. Aston Villa seems to have the big team's ticket, and then when they go ahead and play with a Leeds or who is it that they played before Leeds?
My battery died. My phone battery died.
Wait, oh my God. Aston Villa, let's talk about Aston Villa, guys. Because we can't take nothing away from Aston Villa.
No, we can't take nothing away from Aston Villa. They show up and they show that, I think they lost their last game, and they show up and be like, look, I'm not going to get walked over.
Last week they lost at home to Southampton, where Southampton scored 4 goals. The week before that, they lost at home to Leeds United. Leeds scored 3 goals. Their last win was 3 weeks ago, away to Leicester City. So they seem to have a very good away form, right, but are struggling at home. Epic.
Well, to me, Aston Villa, you see that midfield is key. You see, they got 2 workers in John McGinn, and last season he was very good the first few games, if everybody remember. He was scoring, he was assisting.
Let me just say, last season I told Arsenal that the perfect player for them was John McGinn. I saw when I saw John McGinn play, I'm like, that's an Arsenal player. Like, I look at him play, and he's an Arsenal player. And see,
proper Scottish warrior, man.
Not only did they get punished by a man that I think is an Arsenal player, they got punished by an Arsenal fan. Because only Watkins is a big Arsenal fan. So
see, yeah, man. So
and their former goalkeeper shot them out too.
Oh, right. God. Yes, that's the next thing. So, they adjust their defense with the goalkeeper, and you can see the difference Martinez has made at Aston Villa. But in their midfield, as I said, with the Brazilian Douglas Luiz and John McGinn, they have a solid base there. And then when you talk about the other players now, so they normally have Traore, and Trezeguet came in today, former Man City player, and Trezeguet was quite good. And then when you talk about no, not Trezeguet being the former Man City player, but Trezeguet came in today for Traore. But then you also have Ross Barkley playing that roaming role in the number 10, and they have Jack Grealish from the left, who is an absolute peach of a player. Remember, all the top 6 teams were actually talking about this player during the summer until he signed a major contract. he is a player that if you look, and this is one thing I look at when you look at, yeah, man, you look at Jack Grealish, look where his socks are when he's playing football. He has the most minimal of shin pads. That man jumps on the football pitch as if he's playing street football or playing some local, and he takes kicks on the shin and talking rocky because his shins are not really covered. This man is probably the most fouled player last season in the Premier League.
He was.
You understand? So this man is taking kicks in shins, ankle, everywhere, and just dust off himself, get up back, and he goes somewhere. He is one hell of a player, and he got an assist today. You understand? What's his name? Ross Barkley got an assist as well. But when you're talking about Ali Watkins as well,
yeah,
this is a player that he showed against Liverpool what he could. So he showed that he can do it against the top teams. No, he's done it against Liverpool. He's done it against Arsenal. I don't think there will be much questions about whether this guy can cut it at this level or not. A player coming from the Championship, and he wasn't an out-and-out striker before. You understand? This is a new role that he's learning. He only played one season as a striker at his former club in the Championship, and now he's doing it in the Premier League against some top defenders. So,
and 6 goals.
Goodbye.
6 goals for him. 6 goals for him against top teams.
Yep.
Right. And as a striker, those are the stuff that you want. The goal that I think the first goal that he scored is a header. He pretty much take it off the other guy's head, and it's like it's mine. And he was aggressive towards it. That's the type of thing you need from a striker. You gotta, some people would give up. Back to that guy, what's his name? Brewster. Put both of them in the same position, and Watkins gonna score it, and most likely Brewster not even gonna be in the box to score that. Those are. It's just be honest. Like those you are a striker. You are a striker, and if the ball goes on the wing, where you're supposed to be. In the
box.
You're so Arsenal and Ryan.
Just be honest, man. But
honorable mention to Matty Cash. Aston Villa's defender. He was not giving he was not giving Aubameyang any chance. He wasn't giving him any chance, Matty Cash. So honorable mention to him. And Tyrone Mings, I think he's coming into his own as a defender, a player that I think he got dropped from Bournemouth. It was Bournemouth that he was at, and he got dropped from. And then Aston Villa went and picked him up, right?
Yes.
And Tyrone Mings, he has really come into his own. So honorable mention to him.
And then
John Terry coaching.
One thing
to mention about Aston Villa too, when they don't have the ball, the way all they fight, the way all they press, the way all they, come together, it's like, okay, I'm gonna press. Everybody press, not just one person press it. Everybody press as a unit, so they always get that second ball, always get that third ball. You see, they're fighting for that win, and they just didn't give away anything. And I like when I see teams press as a unit, not just one person go this side, one person go nitpick, and they press. If you press as a unit, you pretty much scare the other players. You scare them. They make mistakes. You get a goal. Easy as that. You win 4-0.
I mean, when I think of Aston Villa, I don't really think of them as a top 10 team, but the quality of players that they have. They are a team that's supposed to be finishing up there because they have quality players. They have one of the best playmakers. They have Jack Grealish, best playmaker. They have a good defender in Tyrone Mings.
Who can score sometime.
McGinn, another good player. Now they have a good goalkeeper. Target, not a bad defender either. So they are actually, a team. And I think it's good that at first I wasn't happy with them staying up. because
did you want Grealish so bad?
Yes, because I wanted Jack Grealish at Manchester United so well. I mean, now looking at it with the way Manchester United are playing, maybe it was for the best because he's too good of a player to come to Manchester United to struggle in what they were struggling, it's fair to say, I mean, we'll finish with that again. It's fair to say, no, I was looking at Manchester United's team and I was looking at the players that they brought in. Van der Beek was a regular starter for Ajax. Solid player at Ajax. Look at him. No, he can't get a game. I'm looking at Alex Telles. Not only was he a good player over there in Portugal, he was captain of Porto. And
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen him much yet. He had COVID, and so he was out. But
Right.
and then we had Bruno, who was the captain at Sporting. He did come in and he gave us a very good run of games when he came in January. I think he was a key player to turn things around. But I'm looking down the line at the players that Manchester United has brought in over the years. Shaw was a solid player when he was at Sheffield, right? He was at Sheffield, and
Stokes
you
or
know,
Sheffield?
Was
he
it
was at
Saha? You say Shaw?
Shaw.
Shaw is not Shaw left. I mean Shaw who come in, Luke Shaw left back.
Oh, Luke
I'm
Shaw,
not
you're
looking
talking. Okay.
I'm just looking at the quality players, and I don't want to say this because I know like people like Alex are gonna support the line.
Jones.
That's gonna say Manchester United mash up the players, but it's like all the quality players that I see so much qualities in these players when they come at United is a flat.
And
So, because
my,
of that, I am glad. I am no glad that Grealish didn't come because he's too good of a player to come to Manchester United and struggle with us. So
to be honest with Shaw, I remember when Shaw get that injured in Europe.
back much
And
from
I
his
feel like that injury never bounced back. It was this player, and I used to enjoy seeing him, and then he just get that injury, and it's like,
I think the injury injuries as kind of, robbed
And
us of seeing his best. Every time he get in some form, intend to
yeah,
get an injury.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier today about players that get in injured. And one of the names that also came up was Kante at Chelsea. He hasn't looked the same since he came back from that injury that he was out for a period of time.
mm-hmm.
So no Kante, I mean he gets his start, but sometimes Kante being on the field, you don't even hear his name called.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
been good since he's been put back in his old position. So
yeah. And then to be funny, we were talking about Jones, and we miss defender like Jones. He like we miss
Yes,
aggressiveness
not
after
the point.
defender.
Yeah, I did bring up the point that
Yes.
Jones and Sir Alex was not a bad defender, but I don't think, as like I said, us fans we get into these players' head, and some of these players are not mentally strong to block out the things that we say because Jones started to have bad games under David Moyes and he has never really recovered from that. And I also made the point of saying, there was an interview where they were asking him about testimonials, and he said he wouldn't want one because the only person that would show up would probably be his mom, his dad, and his wife and his dog. And I'm like, you see, those
Oh,
are
God.
things that us fans, because we bring the players down so much that mentally it mash up and it rob us of their potential and the talent that they can bring to the team. Because I do remember Sir Alex once saying that Jones was gonna be one of our top players, and he could be better than I think. I don't want to say Ronaldo, but I think maybe that was what he said. And now look at Jones. Jones isn't even mentioned in our team. He wasn't even named in our 25 man.
The
List.
man just make muscle and I see man big. I show him finger. I see him pitch that
I
man
haven't,
big.
I haven't seen him in forever. I haven't seen him in forever.
But
Look who we have here. 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 The prodigal son returns.
Yeah.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. We did a run through, but since you're here, I know you had something to say about Chelsea, so I'm just going to give you the opportunity to do it real quick.
Good night, everybody. Sorry for being late. There was a bit of emergency. I had to run out. But Chelsea. What can I say? It's all green from like it's a straight prosperity. You know what I mean? um, I honestly think that Lampard is starting to get what he wants from his players. I strongly think that he has a very hard job of picking his starting 11, but it's a good problem to have. Because I want to draw a reference to Kovacic, like not playing for like how long and comes in the game and almost I can say he's almost the man of the match for me. You know what I mean? So that's a good problem to have for a coach.
Yes, I did tell them that you thought Kovacic was your man of the match.
Thank you. I can't depend on you,
Yes, always.
We got your back, man.
Say again?
We got your back.
I know that. But it's a good problem to have as a coach. Like you have all players ready and waiting for their shine, and they come on and impact a game. That when you have injury, but at the same time keeping them happy is one. You know what I mean? Because everybody want to start. But it's a good problem to have, though. You know what I mean? And another 3 points. Conceded 1 goal in the last 6 games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good record. You know what I mean? Is 22 goals overall.
Me give you the stats yesterday. Let me give you the stats yesterday.
20 goals for 10.
I've been busy.
20 goals for, 10 goals against, goal difference 10.
Right, exactly. So pretty much the same stats, but all in all is a good. It's funny how people starting putting Chelsea as title contenders. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, but at the same time, Chelsea must not get ahead of ourselves in terms of going forward. Just win some games and just see where it go from there.
I guess.
You want to talk about Arsenal game?
You touched it already? You guys touched it already?
Yeah.
We have run through the game now. We're just freestyling.
Okay, all right. Whoa, Arsenal. What can I say?
They got
the roller coaster ride continues. The roller coaster ride continues for Arsenal because you know what I mean. They beat Manchester United. They're at home to Aston Villa. You expect them to put that 3 points away. But you know what I mean, it was not that from the get-go. Aston Villa started the game like a couple of seconds, like before it was a minute. They got a goal which is arguable. It was a goal, but the ref said Ross Barkley was impeding. So and some offside argument and one bag of things. So they find some way to not give them the goal. But listen, from the get-go, Aston Villa was at them, and it paid off. Arsenal did not show up today. They did not.
I mean, last week I did point out, and I got attacked by the Arsenal fans that Arsenal should be happy with the 3 points, getting the 3 points. But there's no reason for them to be happy with the performance that their team displayed because they didn't play well. And I told them, you know, the way Arsenal played, they are lucky that they were playing against Manchester United, a lazy Manchester United, a flat Manchester United. Because if they were playing against, okay, and now we see it this week, they're playing against a team that's going at them, they were going to be in trouble. And the same thing that I said is come to pass. Like, you understand, like, there was no reason for him to be happy about the performance, just the 3 points last week. God, come on now. I mean, it's Arsenal.
You know,
I use the first line. It's just Arsenal. It's just Arsenal.
I think it's hard to find out what is Arsenal's real problem because we've watched Arsenal go through 1, 2,
3 managers.
Three managers now.
No, this is just second manager since Wagner is retired.
Right, and
Emery before.
We're still seeing the same problems, no matter which manager comes in. So you tend to wonder what is Arsenal's real problem. Like, what is the real problem Arsenal had? Because this is
It's an Ozil problem.
Arsenal problem didn't just start. She says that Arsenal problem didn't just start last week, and it didn't just start last season. I'm gonna be a little mean right now. A club doesn't win a league unbeaten, doesn't achieve such big thing. Winning the league unbeaten and getting that gold trophy, and then for 17 years nothing. For 17 years nothing. It's like them win it and they say, all right, we're done. It's like Arsenal for the past 17 years, Arsenal has just been playing football for fun. They haven't been playing because they want anything. They just play for fun. It's like a Sunday evening game where they go and enjoy themselves. And then the owners for them club, the Americans, all them care about is getting a profit. Like
I reach Champion Leagues.
And I guess the profit from them just finishing where they finish is enough for them, because they keep on saying that them not gonna spend a bunch of money unless Arsenal finish in the Champions League, then they will spend money to build the team and give them what they want. But clearly, them are going. Yeah, it don't make no sense to me. But this season, like I said before, this season they did go out and they did spend some money and they did bring in players. And I thought this would have been the season for Arsenal to show us something, to prove something to us that that we should still consider them one of the big six. Because in my mind, we can't knock them down and put up somebody else.
But it's funny. You should refer to Arsenal's problem, because for some reason we see our next club kind of heading in Arsenal's direction, and it is not good to see
that club will not get there. It will not go there. It will not go there. It's not. They won't go there.
I said heading. I did not say go. I used the word heading. My words were used correctly.
You see, the thing about heading is that when you're going down a road, you might come to a part where there's a turn off there.
Right.
And all they need to do is take the turn off instead of continue going straight.
It's still heading.
I mean, they still stop heading. They still take a turn off. Okay. As soon as we get rid of the gremlin, we're good.
Okay.
We'll get rid of the gremlin and then we're good. Anyway, guys, let's move on to goal of the week. Goal of the week. Some amazing goals scored, and because charismatic say I like to be the odd one out, and like what am I do? I don't like to agree with people.
I'll pick my goal of the week.
Becky, who's your goal of the week?
No, yeah, you go first. Remember I said you go first this time,
Why me need to go first?
Because that was the great we agree upon.
Alright. But my goal of the week is my player.
See?
My old player, Edison Cavani. I mean, it's not a spectacular goal, but it's a goal that made me feel good. So that's my goal of the week, Edison Cavani. Bruno assist, Fred helping to lead the ball. My goal of the week, Edison Cavani. It's just my unbiased. It's my biased moment right now. Edison Cavani goal is my goal of the week.
Oh, you want to hear my goal of the week too?
Mm-hmm. And Bruno's goal, so Bruno's header was a good goal. Go ahead, Becky. Go ahead.
Bruno's second goal was the goal of the week for me. The one where I think Rashford did score, but Rashford never scored. The second goal when he just shoot. Yeah, that was my goal of the week. That's my goal of the week.
Oh no, the Bruno goal was that Bruno second goal was to me the goal of the week. I mean, there were some good goals in the Chelsea game, but there were more team goals than individual brilliance.
Mr. Blue Bag.
Well, it is going to sound a bit biased, but it's actually not. It's gonna be Thiago Silva's goal.
Brilliant. That was a
Silva's goal.
goal. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just say, me and Damien goal, I just feel good goal. Those are feel good goals.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
Cavani goal was a feel good goal for me, and that Thiago Silva goal is a feel good goal. It's not a brilliant goal, it's a feel good goal.
So Damien, you know when somebody say, me not disrespect you, and then they say this something disrespectful, just know
Yes.
how biased you gonna be. You don't have to tell everybody say you're gonna be biased. All right?
Becky, Miss Becky,
Just know that.
Miss Becky, you're the one that I don't expect to throw me under the bus like that, you know.
But you just hey, me don't want to be biased, but me gonna be biased.
All right, keeper. Damien, that's your forte.
Ooh. I am a bit guilty for not going through the stats this weekend. I was very busy.
All right, let me
no,
just
man,
say
I don't mean stats. I mean reviews of the goals. So I want to pick one based off of what I saw, and that goalkeeper that we played for Southampton,
McCarthy.
Save.
McCarthy.
Let me just say something about McCarthy. I don't know if you guys remember, McCarthy was a bench keeper at one point, and he didn't start getting regular play until after Manchester City. Knocked 9 past Sheffield, Southampton's former goalkeeper. What was his name? He was the main keeper.
Frank Foster. Is it Foster? Not Foster, not Ben Foster, you know. Forster. That did come from Celtic. Yeah.
Yes, I know he's been brilliant. See, sometimes something bad things happen and give you a chance.
But McCarthy only have 2 saves.
Oh, okay, no.
Oh, one of those was world class. Trust me.
Keeper. Listen, because I think you know who my keeper of the week.
Ooh.
You know who my keeper of the week? Ramsdale.
You're wicked.
Although him like 4 pass, he made 6 solid saves. Where that game could have easily end with Chelsea killing Sheffield's entire Premier League. So I am giving Aaron Ramsdale keeper of the week with them 6 games.
He did make some save. Like,
do you know same even save the Werner ball that Werner was true on goal, right. But they never get the corner. He got a fingertip to it, you know, the chip, you know. People wondering, oh, Werner missed that, but he got a fingertip, so he not even get credit.
It was easy. It was easily if Chelsea scored 10 goals for Sheffield. I mean, my real keeper of the week is Pope for Burnley. Like Burnley suffering right now.
That too.
But yeah, I mean, Becky, we know you have a strong love to Nick to Pope. But
me actually go through every single keeper and right there if they get a clean sheet, how much save they make. So we could have give everybody who get clean sheet how much save they make.
Schmeichel, to me, because I was watching that Leicester game, there was a particular save him take out at the top corner. That, trust me, everybody thought it was in. Everybody thought it was in on the pitch. Even his centre half, them look back and cool head, and man, he glove just went up the last instance, and he just whoop and punch it over the bar. So that save, as well as I saw some shots that, yes, they were kicked straight to him, but they were hit with venom, and it didn't even bounce out. He just gathered them. It was good. His distribution was good. Schmeichel was good. He never get a lot of work, but that save. Ariola. From Fulham. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did good too.
I mean, okay, there was a conversation yesterday in the group about keepers, and I remember Belhan asking me something about keeper. So I just want to ask you guys this. They ask me each. Damien, who are the 5 best keepers in the league?
No.
Yeah, right now, the 5 best active keepers. I mean, that's the 5 best keepers in the league. You know, we think more playing
Alright,
time.
I'm not gonna name them. I'm not gonna name them by who's number 1, who's number 2. I'm not gonna name 5 keepers.
Just name 5 keepers, right?
Yeah, I think Liverpool keeper.
Alisson.
Alisson,
Mm-hmm.
Mendy.
Mm-hmm.
Alisson, Mendy. Aston Villa keeper. What's his name?
Martinez.
Martinez. We got 3, don't Martinez. I think Ramsdale. I think he's one of the best. Even though I concede, I think he's one of the best keeper now. And Edison. Because it's sorry, right?
No. First I call him.
First I call him. All right, Becky, you're 5.
Edison, but you know, I don't know all about like Edison. Me hate him, you know.
I don't like Edison either. I swear, I don't like Edison. I don't see people
Me hate him so much. Alisson.
Alisson.
McCarthy, Alisson, Pope. I like Schmeichel, whatever. Leicester guy. I'm like Fabianski too. I those people who I like.
Just give me 5. Just give me 5. Just give me 5.
Make you 5.
It's not who you like, who are the best. He asks who are the best, not who you like.
All right, Dalla. All right, Epic. Give me your 5.
So we have
underrated people stuff.
Alisson, Mendy, Pope, Martinez. I'm gonna put Edison in our top 5 as well. No particular order.
All right. For me, it's Patricio down there at Wolverhampton. Really like Patricio. I like what's his name down there at Brighton?
Like I don't understand.
All right, my best keepers: Patricio, Ryan, Anderson, Alisson, Schmeichel.
Those are light keepers. I'm sorry. We don't name light keepers.
I mean, all right. I know you expect me to name Mendy, but me not see no fight.
But he's one of the best keeper now.
Me not see no fight yet. But you know,
But you see the fight against Manchester United. Look how much safe.
Listen, the reason why I'm asking who are the best keeper is because I know that have the discussion is about Kepa, and me believe that Kepa
Still in the top.
That's not Kepa to me still in the top 5. Like,
That's don't lie, brother. That's don't lie.
I mean, Kepa and De Gea still in the top 5. They're still in the top 5. They're still in the top 5.
But stats don't lie.
Eh? Kepa,
Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. I mean,
that's only the reason why stats, unless it's correct. Correct stats don't lie.
No, look at
correct stats don't lie.
Look at the stats. And I can't understand, like, what I say, like clean sheet, concede one, and then on the top 5, like, what I do?
Me not see no fight yet. I mean, listen to me. You see, from him arrive at Chelsea, me only see him play once. Only the Manchester United game me see in full because as you know, I've been busy on the weekend, so me not really see most of them games then. But only that the game me see. Me give him time. Me know some have this hype around him now, but I don't know me no work off of hype. No work off of hype player. My favorite, most of my favorite players. I mean, one player me like him have a lot of hype around him, and that's Ramos over at Real Madrid. He's my favorite player. When
goal, you know.
Yeah, when everybody discuss greatest of all time and then call Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi name, the name of me I have to call it Sir Ramos. Like
that kind of defending me like aggressive, kill people.
Exactly. you know, long minutes when I might defend them stepping at somebody ankle. They're rough players, you know. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for
player of the week, team of the week.
Okay, week is Hakim Ziyech at Chelsea. The crosses that he made, the way he played, how can I give it to anybody else? Hakim Ziyech. Becky.
All right. So we have
Yes,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 players of the
Just
week.
give me one. You see one guy, you bet just give me one and cut it short. Just give me one and cut it short. Quickly.
2 goal, 1 assist.
Bruno Fernandes. Damien?
I had one until today. So I think I give Rasbaki.
Hakim Ziyech.
How can you guys like Hakim Ziyech like?
Yeah, man.
No, he was.
Like,
It was between
I'm
Hakim and Kovacic, but today,
Yeah, look.
like, me see a Rasbaki way. Me see a different
Look.
Rasbaki today, so me have to give him.
Like last night, me look for Hakim Ziyech and me wonder if we can just go over Stamford Bridge and bring Van der Beek. And maybe me get the wrong Ajax player. We feel like me get the wrong Ajax player. If we can just let him off over Old Trafford, get me collect him. We feel like me get the wrong something the player. Anyway, team of the week, Aston Villa.
Anybody have a problem with that? Something wrong with them?
Aston Villa. I mean, anybody silence Arsenal, that will be my team of
Yeah,
the
man.
week.
Humble pie. Them serve.
Damien, your team of the week.
I am stuck between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. But I think I'm going to go with Aston Villa.
Yeah, epic.
Yeah, man. Villa. Humble pie, man. Remember there was a lot of talk and noise from that section of London.
Yes.
So
Section of
Three
London.
So
piece,
humble pie.
piece.
They
With
get
the
three
price of
piece.
ketchup.
Okay, so remember we have an international break. Resume football on Saturday, November 21st.
Yes.
And
Game
the first
starts
game of that match is Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Me and Epic we are not eligible.
Wait. Before you go there, let me just read the predictions last week real
Okay.
quick. Brighton versus Burnley was predicted by me and Becky. I had 1-2 for Brighton with Burnley winning. Becky had 2-1 with Brighton winning. Southampton versus Newcastle was Damien and Lenky's game. Damien had a 3-3 draw, and Lenky had a 2-1 win for Southampton. Everton versus Manu was Lenky and Damien's match. Lenky had a 3-1 win for Everton, and Damien had a 2-1 win for Everton. They're pre-no. Like down again. For that, Crystal Palace versus
Leeds.
Crystal Palace versus Leeds. I had a 2-2 draw, and Becky had a 2-1 win for Leeds. Becky, you need to tighten up. You're not getting nothing right. Chelsea versus Sheffield was Lenky and I. Lenky had a 3-0 victory for Chelsea, and I had a 4-0 victory for Chelsea, and I predicted that exactly right.
No, you're not right. No, you're not right. You're not right.
I had a 4-1 win for Sheffield. Look, see it right here. Sorry, 4-1. I had a 4-1 thing. Look, see it right here. So look.
Okay.
Right here.
Yes.
Okay. West Ham versus Fulham was Damien and Lenky's game. A London derby. Damien had West Ham winning 2-1. Lenky had West Ham winning 3-1. West Brom versus Spurs was me and Becky's prediction. I had 2-1 West Brom. Becky had 2-0 Spurs. Leicester Wolves, Damien and Becky. Damien had a 3-2 win for Wolves. Becky had a 2-1 win for Wolves. Manchester City, Liverpool was me and Lenky. We both had 1-1 draw. I got that right. Arsenal Villa. That was Becky and Damien's game. Becky had a 2-1 win for Villa, and Damien had a 3-2 win for Villa. We don't have no respect for the gold trophy. None.
We guess the result right, Damien.
All right, go ahead, Damien.
We're gonna move on now to November 21st after the international break. The first match of the weekend is Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Me and Epic is not eligible, so this is between Bella and Becky. What's your scoreline?
2-1 Newcastle.
Really?
What are you drinking something there?
Orange juice, but it doesn't.
Come
2-1
on.
Newcastle.
All right, I know what's in your cup, but it's okay.
It's a 3-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Newcastle. Me a back
2-1 Chelsea.
All right.
I am back in.
All right, let's match Aston Villa, Brighton. This is me and Epic. I'm going to give Aston Villa a 3-1 win. Epic.
I go for a 2-1. Aston Villa.
All right. Burnley, Newcastle.
Can't be Burnley, Newcastle.
We just do Burnley. We just do Newcastle.
Newcastle play Chelsea, innit?
Burnley, Crystal Palace. Burnley hosting Crystal Palace. This is between Becky and Bella.
Burnley is long overdue for a win, and I am one of those people who have a lot of faith in Sean Dyche that he can get it done. This is going to be their first win, 2-0. I'm going so far.
I really want Burnley to win. Like, I not even care if it's a 1-0 win. And they're winning at the 94th minute. Burnley are going to win. And it's going to be at 1-0 win. Watch. 1-0.
Right.
It's going to be at 1-0.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 matches at 10 a.m. So we're still in the 6th match. We have Fulham hosting Everton. This is me and Epic. Fulham is my next door neighbor. Me have a soft spot for them, but Everton playing the better ball game. So I think me I go edge Everton with a 2-1 win.
Look, man, I got score. What?
I'm going for 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, man. Everton are come off a loss and first game after internationals. I don't think Fulham have a lot of players playing internationals now. So.
All right. Whoa. All right. So there's 2 matches here. Hold on. There's 2 matches here that the 2 female hosts are not eligible to give us.
Wait, why am I not eligible to give Liverpool? Wait.
Hold on. I'm on the floor.
Okay. Take it. Dance.
All right. Liverpool hosting Leicester.
Yeah, me and Becky here.
Can you let me finish?
Because I'm excited to give a prediction for this. So nobody rob me out. Don't rob me of the opportunity.
Leicester win.
I am giving Vardy the party. It will be a 3-2 game in the favor of Leicester City.
Becky?
2-1 Leicester.
Right? No.
We don't
want that, because like me just didn't know what on the heart there, but it's all right. Moving on.
No, but if you look how Liverpool are play, look how Leicester play.
Listen to me.
Moving on.
When the season start, one thing is sure, Vardy will get a penalty. Tillman is playing very good. Madison is making some precise cross.
Moving on.
Let's predict Manchester United.
Moving on. All right. Okay. So we have Manchester United. Can you let me finish my show? So Manchester United hosting West Brom. Epic.
Wait. I'll give United a 2-1 for that one there.
Watch you get a clean sheet.
All right. West Brom slightly struggling. United is struggling, but you expect United to come out on top with this one. So I'm gonna give a 3-2 to United.
Watch you come out a clean sheet. Watch you come out with a clean sheet, Alisa. Watch.
sheet. We
Take
had
time. Take time.
Clean sheet. West Brom was killed with a
Wolves hosting Southampton.
I'm never so nervous in my
Bella.
life. Southampton
Bella.
still without Danny Ings. Wolves at the Malune. The Malune next. Wolves haven't been on form lately. I'm gonna give it 1-1 draw.
2-1 win Southampton.
Becky.
2-1 win
Hold on.
Southampton.
I bet you don't start one.
What? Southampton? You see, me I tell you now, based on performance, you know, it's a based on performance.
And a performance, Becky. You're going against Traore and him not like that. You should know better.
Traore barely against me anyway.
Can I not ask a question? Can I not ask a question? I asked a question.
I'm excited for the next one. Move on.
Moving on. First hosting Manchester City. This is me and Epic boy. I don't know which first we're gonna get. I don't know which Manchester we're gonna get. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
That's the best result. Maybe a 1-1 draw.
Oh,
Epic.
It's not your time.
why? I think also I get him win clip in another game. Yeah, 2-1 to City.
2-1.
Yeah, man.
All right. All right. That's it for Saturday. Moving on to Sunday. Last two games of the weekend. We have Sheffield United hosting West Ham United. This is Bella and Becky.
Oh my God, this match. I have such a soft spot for Sheffield United, but at the same time, I can't go against Uncle Moyes. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Uncle Moyes the win. This they go for a draw, 1-1 draw. I can't go against none of two of them. I can't go against them. I'm going to give them a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw.
Almost like either Sheffield score 1 goal or they don't score no goal.
1-1. I can't go against them.
It's either 1 goal or 0.
Becky.
I can't go against them.
I'm going to win 2-1. They're going to find a way. They will find a way, but I really want Sheffield to win. I get that draw that I give them. But deep down, I'm going to win.
So your results are?
I'm a 2-1. I get Sheffield. I really want Sheffield to win. I get that point.
Why?
You're confused?
No, me say I'm a 2-1. But deep down, me really want Sheffield to get something from it. Like literally, you just know, you don't know how I feel.
You know, Sheffield is just like Burnley. Like,
I know
more. We can't go against them.
I'm glad you're here and have to witness what I go through every week.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad you're here. All right, last game of the weekend at match game weekend 9. We'll have Leeds hosting Arsenal. No, this is me and Epic Jones. No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see Arsenal really getting. I don't know where they're gonna. All right, Arsenal has a problem. I don't know when it's gonna be fixed. So I see Leeds. Why you laughing? Why you laughing?
Baba drop.
No, and this is just me talking from a fan's perspective. I see Leeds winning this one at least 3-2, 3-1. So I'm gonna give a 3-2 victory to Leeds.
Boy, you think a clean sheet for Leeds, 2-0. Yes, man. I can't see Arsenal score. Yeah, man. 2-0.
That's a nice Alisa.
I'm really hoping that our producer is not watching. I'm really hoping that he's not watching.
No, man. Hey, listen. Remember, Arsenal have a lot of players who can play internationals. Leeds don't have that much that are going to play internationals.
Maybe Brentford possible?
Bamford not get called up. He can't get in England team. So
there you go.
That was it for my prediction segment. Now back over to Miss Bella.
Boy, Arsenal, no matter how they try to get out the circle, always I drag them back in. All right, guys, final thoughts. Becky,
I'm really looking forward to this break. You don't understand. Me never said we need break from football yet, but me really look for the break. I'm tired. Taking notes.
Damien,
I am hoping that these wonderful players that we watch on a week-to-week basis goes off an international break and come back injury free. That we can have some nice football on the return. So that's my
about Chelsea.
epic.
Yeah, man. I'm repeating those sentiments. I don't want no major injuries. Back. I'd like to see some French players get some minutes to them country. You understand? So them can get up to fitness and everything. And all of the players then where I get them regular minutes at the club. I hope the manager them at the international team have some local remarks and you know manage them time well so that they don't burn them out over the international.
I just feel injury.
Yeah.
For me, it was a good game week. Good victory for my team. Going over the break, it's Gareth Southgate can keep Eric Maguire and not send him back. That's okay with me. But put it back right here. Thank you. Bye. For the international break, like what you guys say, I hope everybody come back without any injuries and all of that. And hopefully Manchester United can continue to build from what they have. Hopefully my manager can figure it out over the break. Take the break to figure out what is find some things. Because we know no one losing job and he knows a Pochettino knocking on the door. So let's see how that goes. Becky, take us out. Tell the people where to find us.
Becky, hold on. I want to pick up my producer on his loss today, but we still want to pick him up. I don't know if I think Miss Bella said something about him earlier in the show, but we still want to pick him up. I saw you got my boss for your loss, but big up yourself. Enough respect.
Hopefully he has left Villa Park. He got hit hard and he can't move. Hopefully he's left Villa Park.
But he was at home though.
Oh,
he was at home though.
Hopefully the fire brigade was able to come and put the fire out. What stadium name?
I think we can turn him back to Becky now. We can turn him back.
What stadium name? The Jesse Lingard Stadium. The Jesse Lingard Stadium. Oh, it has been renamed the Ollie Watkins Stadium. The Ollie Watkins Stadium. Becky, take us out. Before we get into any more trouble, take us out.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to your YouTube channel for Unbiased Football TV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We're out.
Enjoy the international break, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And don't text me, people. I know why you're nothing about football this week.
Tell that to Daniel, not me.
We're still on the line.
Listen, you know what she say? I think first text me. You can't end the life of me. Epic. Let me just say, Becky will be the first one.